All right, guys, we are here at 5221 North 23rd Avenue here in Phoenix, and this is a triplex that I bought right behind me on subject to, meaning I took over the homeowner's existing mortgage and the seller financed the remaining equity. But the funny story with this deal is that Steven and I actually got sent this deal at the exact same time, right? Or a similar time.
Similar time frame, yeah. And I was actually going to buy this deal for, let me say, more than what Kevin was going to buy this deal for. So it just goes to show you in this competitive market, anything can happen. You want to move quickly on these deals. Kevin ended up coming in, getting the deal. I'm super happy for you. That's awesome. We're all about collaboration over competition here. So I love to see you succeed. I love to see you win. At the end of the day, as you elevate and as I elevate, we can elevate each other too.
Right. So this deal, to me, it got sent to me by two local real estate agents that are very experienced in creative finance.
Awesome.
Belinda Lee, I'm sure you know Belinda,
Yeah.
and then Ali Flanagan. She's newer to the creative financing space, but she sent it to me saying, "Hey, this is a deal that we have." And then so she sent it to me at like 11 a.m. and Andrew was actually there. We were eating Chipotle, and I get an email from Ali. This is a deal breakdown, and I'm like, this is a phenomenal deal. I can get into this deal for so cheap. And by 3 o'clock, I already had viewed the house, and by 3:30, I committed to the deal. That's how I'm like,
Fast.
yeah, I like literally dropped everything and I went to the house.
We sat on this deal for 1 to 2 weeks.
Really?
Before we were able to even pull the trigger on it. So you being able to move at that speed and make that decision that fast, that's why you're always going to win.
Right. And this is a deal that I actually ended up getting into a lawsuit with because of they illegally filed a memorandum.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was a whole issue. Which is the reason why it took me about 35 days to close on the deal. And I say 35 days, that's long, but on a creative finance, it's actually, with 35 days is long, and it's on a creative finance transaction, 35 days is pretty long, right?
Yeah, very long. Usually that's what, 1 to 2 weeks. You're just waiting to make sure that the title's good,
Yeah.
and then we can close. We're done.
So this house, we're sitting on 5221 North 23rd Avenue, and the story with this house was a homeowner actually bought this house to renovate it and sell on the market, but he ended up, you know what, I'm just gonna refinance this house. So he refinanced the house, and then he also bought the house in the back from the exact same owner, right? So the previous homeowner that he bought it from, they own two houses, this house and the house in the back, and then I actually ended up buying both of the houses as a package deal, and that was the agreement that I worked it out with the seller, just because he said it would be easier for me to sell because I would not be able to sell the back house for the number I'm looking for. So if you want to buy, you have to buy the whole package as a deal. So. Did you ever, Steve, you never ended up walking this house, did you?
I never got to go inside. I've been on this property and I had to look through the windows, so I've never got to see the actual inside, so this is my first take.
Yeah. I mean, the best part about this deal is like, I don't have any more work to do to this house.
Yeah.
Right? So it's literally, what do you think? Like, this is 400 square feet?
400 or 500 square feet,
500
right around there,
square
I'd say.
Yeah. And literally, the only thing we're doing to this house is that we're just going to get it furnished and clean up. Right, and this is the part where I don't have to go into with the $165,000 renovation.
Yeah.
But then you're gonna make $180,000 on the flip, and I will make long-term cash flow.
Yeah.
So it's a different kind of
Well,
play.
and I think you and I would have had different plays on this deal, and that's the only difference there is having some of the fix and flip experiences. I probably would have had patience to add more units on here and do some additional things, especially with that back unit back there too, which I know is part of your play, but I'm excited to hear about more.
Yeah, so let me show you guys a couple of things that I plan on doing with this house. Not anytime soon, just because we're in the acquisition mode. And as I'm looking at where I am in my real estate career, I play different kind of game depending on what resources and how much money and what relationships I have. But this is a 3-unit, and what the homeowner told me was that this vacant plot of land right here, I can actually build a 4th unit. Mm-hmm. But then I probably won't get to it until for another year or two, just because, like I said, I want to acquire more and more and more.
Yeah.
So this one, like he said, the plumbing's already run through. All I need to do is just build it, and I don't know. He said he can build it for 80 grand.
I think that you could build something like that for probably 60 to 80 grand.
Yeah.
Easily. But think about that. If you raise $60,000 to $80,000, what would your payment be to a private money lender?
$600 to $800.
$600 to $800 a month. How much do you think another one here as a short-term or a mid-term rental would crank out on a monthly basis?
Probably like 1,800 to 2,000.
So you're making a fat profit on that. Why not get started on it while you're getting the other ones leased out?
Yeah, that's the thing is, I was thinking about it, but can we build on it while we have tenants living right next to each other?
If you let them know in the lease agreement, you should be able to let them do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just tell them what's going on. But you also have this whole area in the back over here too,
Right,
where you
right.
could keep it separate from having to be right here in the center, because the other factor you have to look at too is what's our parking look like?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, we gotta like street parking wouldn't cut it.
Street parking wouldn't cut it. So you want to have this open and accessible to have some parking. So it might be good to have this area over here for some parking,
Okay.
because you also have the area in the back.
Or I might have to make this a parking space.
Or make this parking and take this tree out.
Yeah.
Or slap another unit back here and just use the existing concrete for parking.
So this is what I was thinking was, I think Ben was talking about it. Isn't this big enough to build an ADU?
Yeah.
So you could so essentially, if I could get the parking figured out, I could build a 4th unit and an ADU in the back.
4th unit and an ADU in the back. So here's what my play was going to be on this.
Okay.
So what I was looking at when I was looking at this deal originally was, okay, I have these 3 units. I'm going to slap another unit back here, maybe 1 to 2 units like you're talking about as well, but at least 1 additional unit. And I was going to go back to the city because this is a package deal that you bought here, right? So you also own the house back here.
Yeah, the house.
I've heard you talk about that house and you want to split that one into 2,
Yeah.
which is great, right? So get the whole thing rezoned and make this lot and that lot one big lot. So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then slap 1 more unit in the back of this one too.
Back of that house.
So now it's 3 units over here, 4 units over here. If you combine the lots, now you have how many units? 7 units, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you want to do a 1031 exchange, you can 1031 exchange into large multifamily because you can only do a like for like property. So at that point, if this is just 3 units, it's technically residential. So you can
Yeah.
only do it as a 1031 into other residential. If you make it commercial by combining the lots, now you have the opportunity to say, okay, now I want to go buy 18 units with my equity that's in this property.
Yeah. So how about this? 1, 2. I build a third unit, 4th unit in between, and build one more unit here. So this house alone will be 5 units. Turn that into split that house into 2, and then build another on the back. So that'd be 8 units. That was like, okay, if I wanted to maximize the cash flow.
Maximize the cash flow, but also maximize the value of the property, because we all know that multifamily is appraised differently. When you're
Right.
5 units or more, right, we're appraised differently. So your value of the entire lot with all the properties on here would be drastically different because it's all based off the cash flow. So you're not only maximizing cash flow, you're maximizing the value of the actual property. What does an average 8 or 9 unit go for in Arizona? It's a few $1,000,000, a couple $1,000,000 at least.
Yeah, because I bought crazy deal. I bought this house, this triplex. I think I bought it for like $690-ish, and I gave the homeowner $15,000 down.
Yeah.
And I paid a $10,000 assignment fee. So I'm all into this deal for 25 grand plus closing costs. So I have very little money into this, and like that was one of the reasons why I bought this deal. Was number one, was such low money, and I also knew that. Second reason I bought this house was so that I can buy the house in the back. Third reason was because the homeowner does a lot of fix and flips here, and he already seller financed a couple of the homes. So I'm like, okay, if I build this relationship, I have a shot at buying a few other properties. Same exact, it could be even 15 grand down payment.
Yes.
Right. So, like my strategy is now is very different. So like I used to do a lot of sub 2 deals, but now I'm focusing like 90% of my effort on just the seller finance
Beautiful.
because I want to buy the entire portfolio.
Yes. Oh, that's the move.
Yeah. So we got to open this up. Right.
Yep, you don't have to. And in the meantime, that's the beauty of this, is that you can cash flow, because you got such a good deal on this, you can cash flow all of this before you even want to make a decision on what you want to do with adding the additional units.
Right,
So once
right.
you get everything filled, cash flowing, it's performing for you, and that way you're not just bleeding money sitting on it,
Yeah.
which is what most of us have to do is fix and flips, right? Fix and
Right.
flips, it's a vacant house that I'm completely gutting. You can be producing cash flow and then put in your request to combine the lots and do all of that.
So how does financing work to build these units? Like, because hard money lenders, they don't, if you already have a first lien, second lien, third lien,
Correct.
they're
Correct.
not gonna give you the money.
You're typically want to go to a private money lender at
Okay.
that point in time.
Okay.
Yeah, and like we just talked about earlier with the cash flow that these would produce, I think a 1-1 as a short-term rental is always going to get you in this area $2,000 to $3,000 a month in gross cash flow, right? So if your payment to the hard money lender is $600 to $800 a month,
Oh,
it's a no-brainer,
Right.
right? And then you go and get the house reappraised once interest rates come down a little bit more, and go, oh my gosh, look at this. Now I have 8 units. You can go get a commercial loan. You're going to get better rates. You're probably going to get a better payment. And you can loop it all together and pay everybody off.
Okay. Well, what's the typical time frame to build out one of the units? Identical. Let's just say I want to build exactly that.
Depends who you use, right? I would say you could probably do that in 2 to 3 months.
2 to 3 months, you can build the whole thing.
I think you could build out the entire thing in 2 to 3 months. Yeah. The biggest waiting time frame, and if you want to factor this in, is just going to be getting the permits,
Okay.
getting the okay from the city. But that's what I'm saying. You can cash flow all of these while you're waiting. It's not like you're sitting on a vacant piece of land saying, man, I'm just bleeding cash until I get this approval. No, you're going to be making money the entire time. And then when you get the green light, now it's 2 to 3 months for it to be built.
Wow. At that point, I'm going to development. My first ever development.
I wanted to do a development play here.
Really?
I think that was the move.
Okay. What else do you think I should do to the house other than already building it? Just because, I mean, I'm sure there's so many things that I don't see that you see as a fix and flipper.
Yeah. Yeah, I think on that, just adding the extra units is the big thing. In this area of town, people aren't as worried or more concerned about the landscaping. Typically, if you're going to do a short-term or mid-term, which you have a lot of experience with as well, right? These 1-1 units, these 2-1 units, they typically fill up like crazy because they're a lower price point. It's cheaper than going to a hotel, so they're always filled. So just getting the extra units back here is going to be huge because people just want somewhere affordable that they can go stay while they're here on a work assignment or on a trip or whatever they're doing.
Right. Okay. So yeah, that was kind of my play. Was like, how can I make this more continuous? Like, it's separated by the fences, but I was gonna clear everything out and then make sure like what you can go from one house to the other. But maybe like a laundry unit.
That would be huge.
Yeah.
Do these not have laundry inside of them?
No, they don't.
I would do a coin operated laundry unit.
Okay.
Coin operated, and you'll be shocked. You'll make an extra $1,000 a month off of that.
Really?
Yeah.
8 units. $1,000?
Oh, definitely.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep. Get a coin operated one and just have somebody, you or somebody else, just come here once every few weeks and just empty out the coins, take it to the bank.
Wow.
Yeah.
$1,000. That's just as good as
That's
as the
what I'm
one
saying.
tenant. All right, guys. In competitive markets like Maricopa County, Arizona, you have to move fast on your deals, right? Like Steven saw this deal, and I saw this deal, and one of the determining factors when you get a deal versus not is how quickly you are able to pull the trigger. So for me on this deal, I pulled the trigger in about 2 to 3 hours, and that's what you need to do, especially in markets, especially in competitive markets like in Arizona. And this house, like now that I talked to Steven, like this house is worth so much more than I thought it was. You know?
Oh, it's an incredibly valuable play. Think about this. If this is zoned multifamily, we combine all this. What's multifamily trading at right now in the state of Arizona? We're looking at roughly $200,000 a door. So if we have 8 units, right? We're talking about $1.6 million. You just built out over $500,000 of equity for yourself if you just wanted to go and sell the deal just from zoning it and putting those extra units on.
So you think I should do that like right now?
Oh, totally.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
That is such a good play.
And you're going to learn a lot going through that process. It'll open your eyes. Just think about the experience of going through it all. You know what I mean? And now how you're going to look at deals moving forward.
Right. Guys, this is the thing is like I went into this deal. I already committed to this. I bought this deal about 2 weeks ago. So, but then now that I walked the house with Steven, I'm like, he's opening up my eyes to see like, hey, this is where the real money is, right? For me, I looked at it from like a cash flow perspective. I'm like, oh, I'm going to make money on cash flow, which I will. I'll make money on cash flow, but there's so many things that I'm missing out on, you know, the commercial side of things. So guys, you need to have a friend like Steven that's going to, you know, encourage you to go buy more deals, you know, and also help you on evaluating these properties.
Yeah, if you don't want to get into fix and flipping, find a friend that's doing fix and flipping and use them.
Yes, that's what you need to do. So guys, any creative finance deals you guys got here in Phoenix or Las Vegas, send it to my videographer Ben Walls Films. That's his Instagram handle, and he said he has $100,000 sitting, like he just don't know what to do with it. So he ended up buying a Ferrari, and he just blew it. He has another $100,000 sitting. So still send it to Ben Walls Films. Okay. See you guys in the next video.